Hi, welcome to my training channel. My name is Shrikant. Today we're going to start learning a new course series called S4HANA Embedded Analytics. This course is ideal for BW consultants who wanted to build analytical models directly in S4HANA system for reporting needs. And it is also suitable for ABAP developers who wanted to extend their expertise in analytics space. This course is scheduled for 4 weeks. And let's take a look at the course schedule and the summary of the course. The course mainly focuses on backend for S4HANA Analytics, which include CDS views, AMDP developments. We also focus on analytics in S4HANA Fiori analytical applications and also external BI application reporting tools. In continuation to that, we also focus on ODP-based CDS view data source extraction to BW on HANA or BW for HANA. And lastly, we also focus on optimized BPC for S4HANA concepts in detail. Okay, let's take a look at the course schedule in detail. It's going to be in 4 weeks. The week 1, S4HANA overview. So we start with introduction to S4HANA system and understanding the architecture of backend and front-end servers. We also look at the technology overview of Fiori and OData services. And then we move on to ABAP programming models in S4HANA, starting with traditional ABAP for Fiori and also ABAP RESTful models at a very high level. And then we start with introduction to ABAP development tools, ADT, navigations in Eclipse or HANA Studio for ABAP development tools. And we also cover native HANA database capabilities of S4HANA. And we also touch base on HANA Live with calculation views in sidecar implementations in the past. In week 2, we start with core data services, introduction to core data services, creating several core data services views with basic annotations, SQL views, and CDS views in detail. We are also going to look at projection, selection, where clauses of CDS views definitions, and then we start with more ABAP annotations with end-user text and filters and currency translations and etc. We will look at built-in functions, date functions, currency conversions, and CDS views. And then week 3, we will extend our core data services learning to the advanced level. Here we start with associations, path expressions, and reusability of CDS views concepts in detail. We also look at the input parameters, nesting and enhancing the CDS views, and etc. And then we move on to the table functions, AMDPs for CDS views. So finally, we end up in understanding the virtual data model in CDS for embedded analytics with all these exercises. And we start with consumption of CDS views in Fiori analytical models as well as business objects analytical models. We start with Fiori analytical models in week 4. There are a bunch of end-user technologies as well as power user technologies ready-madely given in Fiori. So we're going to look at view browser, custom CDS views, KPI modeling, and custom reports for power users. We also look at multi-dimensional reports, smart business KPIs, and APFs and query browser for the business user role analytical applications. And then lastly, we start with S4HANA optimized BPC scenarios for planning and analysis. Now we're going to look at the analysis office models to consume BPC planning objects in there. So finally, we will have introduction to SAP Analytics Cloud, and then consume SAP S4HANA models into SAP Analytics Cloud. And we'll close by reviewing all the course content and give the summary of it. During this course, I will walk you through several examples on each topic. It is going to be hands-on working sessions for all topics. All of them are recorded for future reference. A big note here is native HANA and BW for HANA topics are not covered in this course. I have a different course schedule for these items, and that's about introduction note for this course. Let's start with the topic 1, which is introduction to S4HANA and understanding the architecture of backend and front-end servers. Okay, the evolution of ERP. Since from the inception of SAP in 1979, there were several names introduced for SAP software. There were R2, R3, ERP, and S4HANA. So S4HANA S meaning simple and 4 meaning 4th generation change. So that it's branded as S4HANA system. The evolution of HANA to get to S4HANA is, you can see from this diagram, in 2011 SAP HANA got introduced as an in-memory platform. Initially it is offered to business warehouse system only for doing reporting and analytics cases, doing data warehousing as well. And then it was offered in SAP Business Suite powered by HANA, so that SAP makes a statement that HANA can be used as a OLTP and OLAP system both. And in 2014 a simple finance got introduced with a lot of simplification to the tables, and then 2015 simple finance and HANA together came up with a product called S4 HANA. So that's the evolution of HANA and S4 simplification together to become S4 HANA system. What makes S4 HANA system so special? So this is a very basic question. What is so special about S4 HANA system? There are several outstanding features which makes SAP S4 HANA system so powerful. We're going to take a look at those in a very high level. The first one is about simplification of tables. It came up with simple finance. So you can see from this diagram there are multiple tables in old ECC or ERP systems got migrated to one big table. All the line items of a document are now stored in one big table in S4 HANA system. It's for sales and distribution, it's for material management and inventory management, and also for financial management and controlling as well. We're going to use these new document tables when we are going through the examples to perform our analytical models in the backend. And the next big thing is HANA in-memory database platform. And also it comes up with transactional plus analytical system capabilities. So HANA is not just a database platform, but also it has a lot of other services for analytics processing, data integration to get the data from different sources, and also it can be used as an application development platform to build a backend and front-end applications for end users. And more importantly, it can work as a transactional system as well as analytical systems. In the past, we don't have both systems together in one place. We used to have ECC or ERP system for transactional processing, and we have a BW system which is used for analytics and data warehousing to combine the data sets and do the processing and then given it for analytics space. Now within S4 HANA, with the SAP HANA capabilities, now both transactional analytics can happen in one specific system. So that's the main driver for having S4 HANA embedded analytics scenario. And the next cool thing is about advanced ABAP for HANA. It's not a technology advancement from the hardware and software perspective, but it is a technology advancement from the programming language perspective, that now we have new ABAP capabilities introduced in backend. They are core data services and application frameworks. They are also called as business objects processing frameworks, BOPFs. And we also have OData services to consume these models with front-end UI5 applications. So this is modern ABAP, so we call it as ABAP for HANA. It's more of OpenSQL concepts which are introduced to get better performance in line with SAP HANA database. So we still have several traditional ABAP objects used right now in the current situation, but eventually it's more advanced ABAP will be used in the future. The next big thing is going to be Fiori UI or UX, user experience. SAP S4 HANA come up with user experience with Fiori integration. This is a tile-based system where users can access these tiles on any of the device. Could it be laptop or a mobile phone or a tab? Any device can be used to access these Fiori tiles. And it's very user-friendly, more navigations possible, interactions can happen very efficiently, and it is mostly liked by all the business users in the recent business trend. And then finally, it's a public cloud offering as well. So S4HANA comes up with a public cloud offering as well. It's available on-premise as well as on public cloud. So you don't have to worry about on-premise infrastructure maintenance. You got everything set up by SAP, and all the upgrades, maintenance, services are provided by SAP directly to you as a software as a service. So you can just subscribe to the services what you wanted and use those services, and you can have this anywhere in your organization. So that's about all the cool features which make SAP S4HANA so special about it. There are many features what SAP S4HANA brings, but these ones are in the top level. Before jumping on to some of these topics in detail which are used for our course, let's see why SAP S4HANA Analytics scenario is introduced when there is a BW HANA or BW4 HANA Analytics scenario already there. These two products serve different purpose. The BW powered by HANA or BW4 HANA is for strategical and tactical needs of the business, which means it is not for operational processing. It is for quarterly, monthly or yearly processing where there is a strategic decision is made based on the data model in BW system. And also it is a strong planning platform exists in there, which makes strategic planning, financial planning more efficient and effectively done by business users. Multi-source data is also a big capability of BW system. You can combine the data from multiple systems, integrate it in BW system, and consolidated data models can be built, and then reporting can be done on top of those models. On the other side, S4HANA Embedded Analytics is for mainly for operational data, which is going to be your day-to-day processing activities in sales order, purchasing, inventory, financial controlling, etc. So you wanted to see real-time data as soon as the data is being processed in S4HANA system. You got a lightweight modeling solutions built in embedded analytics of S4HANA system so that you can model the data and consume these models for reporting applications. You also can do lightweighting planning solutions in S4HANA embedded analytics scenario. So in summary, you can use S4 system embedded analytics for the scenario where 90% of the data you are using it for reporting analytics is coming from your ECC or S4 HANA system. And that's the best use case for using this embedded analytics case. On the other side, BW will always be the use case for EDW, enterprise data warehousing scenarios, where you combine the data from several sources and do sophisticated modeling with integrated data flows and data models, and then also sophisticated planning solutions with BPC, and then provide these models to reporting applications. Also, we also have to talk about native HANA Analytics. What happened to native HANA Analytics and why SAP S4 HANA Analytics came in. If you remember, a while ago SAP introduced native HANA VDM, virtual data models. They used to be a bit popular at some time in the past. All the business models content is being given by SAP as part of HANA Live in FICO, material management, inventory management, as in the form of calculation views. So there are pre-built calculation views given for all these business models of SAP ECC, and then reporting tools can consume these models for reporting and analytics needs. And these models can be extended to fulfill customer needs according to the requirements. However, SAP decided to stop supporting these HANA Live models and then introduced VDM in S4 HANA ABAP stack. There are several reasons for doing so. SAP preferred that all the modeling of virtual data model to be done in ABAP stack for the for the purpose of security, role configurations. They can leverage a ABAP stack for all these backend security, and as well as programming features of ABAP can be leveraged while doing the modeling. So with all these things, SAP chosen to go with the virtual data model in S4 HANA ABAP stack. So there is no HANA Live getting updated or upgraded in the current situation. So we can ignore, I would say we can ignore native HANA use case for modeling analytics, which are to be on S4 HANA system. This use case is good for the scenario where you're bringing the data from other applications other than SAP S4 HANA system. Could it be non-SAP systems? Then the native HANA modeling analytics scenario is still applicable, but definitely not for S4 HANA cases. Okay, so that's about the introduction and evaluation and the main features of SAP S4 HANA system. Now we move on to the topic of the focus. That's what we're going to focus in this particular course over the period of time. The main focus areas are CDS views, and then analytical applications in Fiori, and external reporting tools. And third, we're going to see BPC optimized for S4 HANA or BW models in S4 HANA embedded. Let's take a look at these three models in little detail. And we also take a look at the system as a demo to see how we're going to work in these three different topics in detail. Okay, the first one is CDS views. So you can see the architecture of CDS view in this picture. We're not going to get into the details of the CDS view at this moment. I'm going to touch base some of the concepts here to explain what it is about. So core data services is a language which is written in ABAP. It's not a core ABAP language, it's an advanced ABAP language where you use a lot of OpenSQL statements to access the database, and it is strongly or highly pushed down to your HANA database system so that the performance can be very effective. And also it uses the native HANA capabilities in the backend in terms of optimizations of the models. So the database layer is in the bottom, and then you got a CDS views built on top of this database layer. The private views can access the database tables, and interface views will access the private views, and then consumption views will be built for analytics purpose. So you will be consuming the consumption views either in Fiori analytical applications or external reporting applications like business objects and SAP Analytics Cloud as well. For Fiori UI, you will be using the OData service through gateway service, and it's so simple to configure OData service for Fiori, for the CDS views. And for external tools, you may use OLAP connections or other SAP traditional connections, HTTPS and OData as well. So it's a complete replacement to HANA Live VDM. So all the previous HANA Live calculation views are now available as CDS views in SAP S4 HANA system. Let's take a look at these objects in the ABAP development tools. I'm going to access a demo system. I'm going to access HANA Studio. I'm going to access ABAP development tools which are installed on Eclipse or HANA Studio. And I'm going to the package here. So this is an ABAP project, just like how your project created in your GUI screen. We can create a project in ADT ABAP perspective of HANA Studio. And there are a bunch of CDS views built in the standard business content. Let's take a look at one of the views here, functional area. Okay, this is how a CDS view typically looks like. So we got some annotations in the header, We got some annotations in the body as well, and we got some associations in build, and then we also have keys defined, and we also have joins defined, etc. We can leverage the existing CDS view as part of the VDM, or you can extend the existing VDM with further extensions or customizations can be done, or you can build completely from the scratch by going to the basics, creating some annotations, and etc. So in this course, we're going to build CDS views from scratch. So, and we will come to a level where we can use all the annotations, all the associations, input parameters, keys, text, semantics, all kinds of different parts of CDS views. We'll build our own. So it's going to be fully customized model, and then we will understand from beginning. So we'll understand from basics to the advanced topics, and then at the end of the course, you will understand the standard business content VDM so easily because you have come across all the steps involved in building a CDS view from scratch. So that's the objective of this course. Let's get back to the course content. The second part of this course is going to be analytical applications in Fury and external reporting tools. So the backend models are built in a BAP layer of CDS views, and then we're going to consume these models in analytical applications. There are several analytical applications given by SAP in Fury. So if you can see, these CDS models will give the data to Fury applications here. You also have analytical applications sitting outside of S4 HANA system. You can call them as external reporting applications. They are traditional business objects tools like Design Studio, Lumira, or SAP Analytics Cloud on public cloud. Okay, so I'm going to start with S4 HANA embedded reporting tools given for us. So it is classified in two categories, one for business user and one for power user mainly. And we also have another one which is for developers. Let's look at one by one. For business users, these are the different tools available. So you can see overview pages, query browser, analysis path framework, query analytical list page, and smart business KPIs and multidimensional reports. These are the several tools available in Fury based on your roles. You will get them accessible, and then you start building um, reports or analytics in these applications. So it's mainly for business users, so the interface and navigations are so simple. You don't need to have any technical understanding of how the coding is to be written. It's going to be just a drag and drop and applying some filters and etc. And the next one is for power users. It's not a very user-friendly application, so you'll need to involve a person who is good in understanding how the backend is working, and then build some simple lightweight mechanisms to build the models in here. So the view browser and custom CDS views are such examples. So in custom CDS views, you can build CDS view by using a free form template. You don't have to write all the coding what you do in Eclipse, but you still can manage with graphical interface. So it's not very complex. At the same time, it's not very simple as some of these applications for business users. Okay, let's take a look into the system, how these different applications look like. So I'm going to access my Fury application. This is my Fury homepage, Launchpad. So you can see some of the applications here based on my authorization roles. I get them. So you can see the query browser. So you can open the query browser, and it's going to allow you to choose existing CDS views and build simple Design Studio based reports with navigations, drill downs, and etc. We're going to take a look at those report building in detail in our course. Similarly, We also have analysis path framework modeling. You can also call it as APF in general. And you also have report design, and also have KPI modeler, and etc. So some of them are only meant to be for business users, and some of them are meant to be for power users. And very important note here is most of the tools look like very similar and do very kind of similar purpose in reporting needs. It's very confusing for many developers initially on which tool is to be for what purpose. So I have prepared a document on which tool is to be for what kind of requirement, so that we understand what tool exactly to be used for these requirements. Let's go back to the next topic in our documentation. So that's going to be for BPC optimized for S4HANA. You got several models for BPC in general. The general traditional BPC is as part of BW system. Now we have BPC in two flavors. One is embedded BPC and one is standard BPC. The embedded BPC is with the features integrated with integrated planning, and then standard BPC is always carry forward from the traditional BPC capabilities. So now we also have a different flavor which is called SAP BPC optimized for S4HANA, and this is completely different from the existing two flavors of BPC system. So the simple diagram explains uh, what flavor or what option to be chosen in general scenario. Let's say it's your SAP platform, and then you got a planning and consolidation requirement, and if you happen to be on S4HANA system, then you will have an option to choose SAP BPC optimized for S4HANA. If you don't have an SAP S4HANA system, then you don't have an option. You will have to go in this direction to BW on HANA or BW for HANA. Then you'll have two options again. One is for embedded BPC on HANA or standard BPC on HANA based on your previous history of implementations. So this is a decision tree how these three different flavors of BPC is being positioned in SAP landscape. So we don't have to worry about these two flavors, standard and embedded in BPC options. We will focus on SAP BPC optimized for S4HANA only. Let's take a look at the architecture of BPC optimized. So you're going to see uh, uh, several new objects in this particular architecture. So you can see that you're going to leverage HANA database, and then your model is going to be based on new finance ledger table ACT.A. And you got a master data table. On top of those master data table, you got calculation views. It's not CDS view. Here the content is being given in calculation views. They are inside the HANA database. So we're going to look at some of these calculation views ready-madely given by SAP. And these views will get the data to BW objects, real-time cubes. And those real-time cubes will provide the data to aggregation levels. And you got a composite provider which holds these aggregation levels, and then you will do the planning in analysis for Office or any web application which is given to do the planning. So this model is little strange and different. So you are mixing up several technologies together. You're in the HANA database, you got the calculation views. So that comes from the native HANA platform, native HANA modeling considerations. And in this layer, you got BW objects, primarily cubes, planning cubes, and standard cubes. You also have integrated planning objects called aggregation levels, which are only specific to BW system IP, BW integrated planning stack. And finally, you got an analysis for Office tool to build the front-end interface for business planning solutions. There's a standard content given by SAP. So you can use that. I'm going to show the standard content activation process, and also we will write some data back to uh, S4HANA system table, which is going to be act.p. That's a full big process. So we'll touch many different topics in this scenario, PW, PPC, IP, and also HANA native models. Okay, so you can see from the GUI perspective in the demo, you will be leveraging embedded BW stack here, which is you can see from RSA1, and then you got BW administration place. So you're going to build some planning objects, some cubes, and integrated planning scenario. And then finally, you will consume these objects um, in analysis for Office. You also need to access HANA Studio for BW perspective to do the composite provider, which combines the standard cube, real-time cube, or your aggregation levels together. So that's going to be done in your HANA Studio application. There's going to be a BW stack in here. So far we have been looking at a BAP stack here, and then we will have to go use a BW stack also. You can go to the prospective BW modeling, and then you will build the BW objects in BW prospective here. So I'm not going to do that right now, but we'll see that in detail. So, and also for native HANA models, you may have to go, or you have to go into the modeler perspective and get the HANA database user license to access calculation views in this one. So this access is completely different from your ABAP stack access. You need to have a database user access to come to this place and see the objects from the database level. Okay, don't confuse. Most of the times, unless you have a BPC scenario, you don't come to database and see the calculation views, because all the time, most of the time, in general S4 HANA embedded analytics scenario, you will work on a BAP layer, which is going to be a BAP perspective only. Of course, the objects are getting created in the database, but you don't have to get access to database layer of the database of S4 HANA system because you mostly work on application layer, and then all the performance optimizations are done in application layer itself. So you don't have to worry about what's going on in database layer. Okay, let's go on to our next topic in the introduction session. That's going to be serious view PW extractors for S4 HANA. Most of the BW consultants, we already knew about this one. Now we have new BW4 HANA system is completely based on ODP extraction, operational data provisioning extraction. And in this case, if our SAP S4 HANA system is our source system, then all the extractors are given in the form of serious views. All your previous standard extractors now is in the form of serious views. So you will build an extraction model from serious view to BW system. You can persist the data, or you can virtually access the data and build a composite provider and then access them in business objects tools. So these serious views now playing an very integral role, not only for S4 HANA analytics scenario, but also for BW or for HANA scenario as part of data sources. So we're going to look at that scenario. We'll focus on creating a general data source based on serious view. Also, we will look into the details of existing standard data sources of BW within the form of serious views. In some cases, we also leverage BW models directly in S4 embedded system. So I've got a blog for this one. You can take a look at this one. But it is very temporary, very workaround situations, but definitely not suggestible by many SAP consultants. So that's pretty much we will focus on the course schedule, from CDS views to analytical applications in Fury and as well external reporting tools. And then we also cover BPC optimized for S4HANA with embedded BW models, and also BW extractors for us from S4HANA systems as well in the form of CDS views. Okay, the last part of this introduction course is about technology fundamentals for S4HANA. This topic is mainly for BW developers because most of the BAP developers already knew about it. It's been the common exercise, a common thing for the BAP developers in day-to-day life. So the technology fundamentals for S4HANA mainly classified in three parts. There's Fiori or UI5, and NetWeaver ABAP or AS or ABAP AS you can call, and SAP Gateway with OData protocol. Let's discuss these topics in little detail here. We can see that the transformation of Enterprise Portal into Fury is being done as part of the journey to S4HANA systems. So now all the front-end applications are now accessed through Fury Launchpad, one user experience with a lot of intuitive technologies and a lot of interactions, etc. So you can see this is the screen from your enterprise portal is in the past, and this is mainly WebDyn Pro and Java stack involved in here. You can see the new UI user experience from Fury Launchpad with a lot of tiles and scorecards and highlighters and charts and graphs with analytical reporting, color coding, everything. So cool. And let's take a UI technologies evolved since from the inception of SAP. You don't have to really know this one, but just a quick overview. So initially started with a list, a BAP list, and then Dynpro. You got several Java server JSPs, WebDynpro Java came in between. Now in the latest time, we have business server pages and a flow plan manager as well. So now it's got transition to UI development kit with UI5 technology. So this is the technology currently used for Fury um, applications. So SAP UI5, OpenUI5 is an open source technology, and SAP has made an SAP UI5 out of it, which consists of JavaScripting, jQuery, client-side JavaScript and jQuery, and HTML5 and CSS together. So you can also see in this picture, in classical screen programming, you will see the technologies used and UI tools used. So these were the UI tools used before, ABAP Workbench and Screen Personas. And then UI5, we use a tool called Web IDE. And we build the front-end applications using Web IDE tool. But we're not going to focus any of the developments in Web IDE just because we're not building a new UI screen in this course. So I'm just explaining this topic to make an awareness about how Fury UI5 is currently available as part of S4HANA system landscape. This is mainly for the BAP developers who are currently doing for transactional processing, some transactional reporting, and accessing some of the business related applications in UI or Fury. They do developments in Web IDE. Web IDE is not a mandatory tool to be used in analytics scenario of embedded analytics of SAP S4HANA. Okay, and then the ABAP platform still stays the same. So you got NetWeaver ABAP even for S4HANA, even for the traditional ECC applications until 7.53. It was supported for both traditional databases as well as native HANA databases. From this package release onwards, it's going to be only supported for HANA database. So you must have a HANA database in S4HANA to have this ABAP 753 programming. On the portal side, we used to have NetWeaver Java stack, but right now there is no portal. It's all Fiori UI 5. And then gateway is the protocol. With OData protocol, you will be able to consume the models in either Business Suite or SAP S4HANA to the front-end applications. So there's not much thing to do with SAP Gateway because our OData services are easily consumed, easily set up in CDS view models or any of the other ABAP on HANA models so easily. So we don't have to really spend a lot of time in SAP Gateway, but in order to make these technologies implementation effectively, we'll need a programming language, programming model. That's what it is going to be the base for all these technologies implementation. That's programming model is called a BAP programming model. So you can see from this picture that there are 3 different programming models in the history of SAP. The first one is classic BAP programming. That's been in the past. Now currently recommended approach is BAP programming model for SAP Fiori. As the third one is the future direction. It's a RESTful programming model. Currently it's only in cloud. I think it's available in on-premise as well in very latest update. So now what is different in these 3 different programming languages? It doesn't really mean a lot as an embedded analytics developer, but it is very interesting topic to understand at a very high level so that you know what's been happening in SAP BAP world in the past to the current and to the future. So the classic BAP programming has been for a long time. You know what are the objects you use in classic BAP programming. So I don't have to talk about the interfaces, the function modules, BAPIs, body, implementation class methods. All these traditional classic BAP programming has been there for a while, and it's good for many of the current situations as well. But SAP introduced a new programming model called ABAP for Fiori. So here in this model, the backend services are based on core data services for analytics and some of the transactional processing as well. And you also leverage business objects processing frameworks for data updates and inserts and any of the CRUD operations. And so you're still going to use the OData protocol to interact with UI model, and your UI is going to be Fiori with UI 5 models in the back. So for our embedded analytics scenario, this is going to be the base foundation to be used, because we have core data services and EMDPs exist in this model. So if you are really working on S4HANA embedded analytics model, so this is the ABAP programming model applicable to you. In future, this will transition to a RESTful programming model with little change in the business services, and also the BOPF will be replaced with business objects behavior definitions, something which is mainly for ABAPers to worry about, because it's mainly for the transactional processing scenarios. For analytics scenarios, there's nothing really big change going to happen as part of core data services. There will be change in accessing the business services. Instead of directly using the gateway OData protocol, we'll use OData business services and then interact with your front-end Fiori analytical applications. So that's the evaluation of ABAP programming model, and currently many UI5 apps are given within this programming model until SAP but still there are many transaction codes and WebDim Pro applications still leveraging the old classic ABAP programming model. So until SAP going to rewrite all these applications in new programming model with the back end and front end together, we still needed to have the classic or traditional ABAP programming model. So this is a very important note, and how we land up in having these three different models at one time is very strange, but that is what it is, and we'll have to manage the evaluation to fit it in our model effectively. Okay, that's about my initial overview session. So to summarize, so we'll focus more on serious views during the period of course. I also focus on analytical models um, in Fiori applications as well as external BI reporting applications to consume these serious views, and we'll spend a lot of time in building these serious views model with a lot of examples and all the possible annotations and semantics as well. I hope it's going to be a very interesting series and you will enjoy learning it. For recorded sessions and training courses, please reach out to me on my email ID, surumpallis@gmail.com. Thank you and bye.